something we all need. Gotta have it now if you wanna succeed. Striving, surviving, that's no doubt. Sticking together, we gon' find a way out. To all you young people, give it your all. To all you young people, give it your all. To all you young people, give it your all. To all you young people, give it your all.
Good evening, the back community. Thank you, as always, for staying involved. Thank you for staying engaged. Today is going to be our first interview of 2022. Thank you for coming along into this new year with us. As you guys can tell from my Christmas sweater, I'm still in the festive mood. Shout out to my man Biggie. Shout out to Jay-Z behind me. The only Christopher we acknowledge is Wallace. You know what I mean? Thank you for coming into 2022 with us. Tonight, we have the privilege of interviewing Rashad Dickson. I happen to have known this man for since he was young. So to see you where you are right now, man, I can't wait to hear all your growth, all your experiences. But the back community, let's welcome Rashad Dickson on. And Shadi, thank you for affording me your time this afternoon. And I look forward to diving into your story, bro.
No doubt, bro. Thank you for having me, man. It's a pleasure.
Okay. And if you guys haven't noticed yet, man, you see my man, Mr. Dickson, came with his fronts on right now because he is the senior designer at ECO Designers. ECO Jewelers Incorporated, and he's going to be able to tell us more about him. But like I said, I knew him since he was younger. Me and his brother was thick as thieves. We got in all types of trouble together. But you have always been such a creative. So I can't wait for you to dive into your story and let us know what you're up to right now. So I'm going to hit you with your first question. Are you ready?
I'm ready, bro.
Now, I mean, one, you're the first interviewer for the back community for 2022. So let's light the stage on fire. My first question for you is, what kind of work do you do, Rashad? Here's your opportunity to tell the back community more about you. I know who you are. I'm sure many people in the Capital District area know who you are, but I'm sure there's some people who don't know the skill set that you have. Here's your opportunity.
All right. Well, mostly, I'm a master caster. You know, I do all the casting, all the melting, polishing, setting stones, a little bit of everything. I started doing engagement rings and wedding bands, but now I'm on to like everything, like, you know, anything you could think of, all types of, you know, designs and anything that anybody else could think of, I help bring it to life. But yeah, man, I do all types of stuff. Engagement rings, wedding bands, chains, bracelets, earrings, fronts, glasses, you name it. Anything that could be molded in the metal, I'm all about doing it. I'm all about bringing it to life.
Okay. So let's break it down for everybody else who doesn't know the full extent of what you do. So for those in the hip hop world, you know, most people would be associated with a person like Jacob the Jeweler. So I'm gonna call you Rashad the Jeweler to the Capital District area, you know. So tell us more about what kind of metals, what kind of golds, what kind of things that you work with, and what kind of pieces you typically bring to life.
I work with all metals pretty much other than steel. You know, steel it takes a little bit more temperature to melt that, but you know, I work with anything from brass, silver, 10K, 14K, 18, white, gold, platinum, you know, all that type of stuff.
Okay. All right. And actually, how did you get involved into the metals? How did you get involved into custom jewelry and designing jewelry? How did your life's path lead you into that career field?
Well, one day I wanted to do a design for something that was different other than what you see on the shelf normally. There was a time in my life where, you know, I wanted to make something special for someone. So, you know, I tried to think outside of the box. You know, I came up with a design and I actually shopped it out because I wasn't manufacturing at this time and nobody was able to put it together due to the materials that I was using. I was using like exotic hardwoods and, you know, incorporating that with metal at the time. So nobody was able to do it. So it forced my hand to get involved with the production. And once I got involved with it, put the first prototype together, And the first prototype was actually made with precious materials, metals and stones and everything. So I was able to get it appraised. And, once I got to that point, it turned me on. Like, it's just like, I had like a aha moment, like, okay, I could do something with this. Like, and I've been drawing ever since I was 4. And, the older I got, the more I kind of started to steer away from my drawing. I was drawing every single day. Like, you remember when I was younger, like, that's all I used to do is just draw everything. So the older I got, like, I'm working, I'm doing a bunch of other things. I'm not drawing as much, rapping, or, that sort of
thing. Oh, don't worry. I was coming that way, man. I was coming that way.
But, looking at it from a business side, it's like, this is something feasible, something marketable that I could manufacture at the same time. So at first appraisal, the dollar amount just, turned me on. And I'm like, hey, I could make a line of engagement rings and wedding bands, because I started out doing just that, just like, engagement rings and wedding bands. And, then I ventured off into everything else. But yeah, like, I had to get involved because nobody else was messing with the materials. So then I started investing in equipment, that I didn't have at the time. And like, I was pretty familiar with some of the equipment I was investing in, going to school and stuff like that. I did a little carpentry, I had jobs where I'm learning like welding and stuff like that. So I know a little bit about metal, how to bend it, mold it, and shape it. And then, once I started getting involved, I started, pretty much teaching myself. Like, I got books on metallurgy and annealing and stuff that I read front to back. So then I just got into casting. And casting is something that's like, very important when it comes to making jewelry. Because before I was just doing everything by hand, so casting allows me to handle a high volume and things that you can't do by hand as well. So mastering the art of casting, that's something like, I had to learn as well. I've been through a lot of failed attempts with that. Or I wanted to bang my head up against the wall, but, I never gave up. I just kept at it. And like, I got pretty good at casting. So, now every time I'm mass producing stuff, I'm making like 50 pieces at once. It depends on the design pretty much, but.
Nice.
I can go off. Now I don't want to go off track.
Nah, you good. You good. It's actually making me think of, I know when I was younger, we all used to go out North Albany. And I think his name was Chris. It was a dude out in North Albany named Chris. He used to live on, what's that, Brady Ave out there in North Albany. But all of us used to go there to get all of our jewelry made. So we would go get fronts made. We would go get necklaces made. All of the girls who wanted their names and stuff on the plated stuff. We always went to his house out there because he had all of this equipment in his house there, and everybody from the hustlers to people who just wanted a piece of jewelry that had nothing to do with hustling. Everybody went to Chris, and I know he later eventually worked for another spot on Central Avenue. But hearing your story, it makes me think a lot about him, because like I said, everyone in the neighborhood, we would find any pieces of gold that we actually had from broken chains or broken bracelets, and he'll melt it down and he can make it into what he wants. Yep. Okay.
It's that process. I get, people in the neighborhood running down on me, asking me, yo, I need you to repair this chain for me. This chain just broke, or could you do this? Could you do that? And another thing, I'm into like bridal shows as well. Like I said, 'cause I started off doing engagement rings and wedding bands. So, I go on the road and I do bridal shows, and like, that gets me some exposure. I met some editors, magazines out there. Nice. I got some pretty good work experience out there as well. So that's been pretty cool.
Okay.
So just building a brand. That's where I'm at right now. Just building value with a brand, building trust, and just building my catalog pretty much. I'm working on 2 collections at the time right now. And just continuing to build the brand, just letting people know that I'm available, I'm capable, and I have some competitive prices and some good quality products to offer.
Okay. Well, listen, as you know, during my interviews for the Back community, not only do I want to highlight your business, but I'm also going to ask you questions about the Capital District area. For you, I know it's going to be Albany, because like I said, man, I happen to know you when you were blooming into this creative juggernaut that you are right now. I know earlier you mentioned you used to draw a lot. At one point in time, you was doing your rapping thing. But what kind of passion projects are you involved in outside of your actual job as a senior designer? Are there still things that you're still passionate about that you work on?
Other than my children, that's about it. Like,
okay.
Like anything. Like, I even put rapping on the back burner for a minute for my own reasons personally. But like, yeah, I had to focus up on what's most important. This is something that could change the dynamic of my family. I could teach my children, pass that down to them. And also, it's a lot of hard work, but building anything great, it takes hard work and dedication and patience, and setting those stones. It's like 1,000 stones in one product. You got to be patient for that type of stuff. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, I'm going to go off and I'm going to ask you some of these questions that I want to figure out. I want the back community to find out some more about you too. But what part of the Capital District area did you grow up in, Shadi?
I mean, what part of Albany?
Yeah, what part of Albany? I mean, well, because for me, I do Schenectady, Troy, Albany. So when I'm saying the Capital District is all inclusive, but for you, yeah.
Yeah, Albany, New York. I'm from all over this place, uptown, downtown. Okay. No particular areas, love all over.
Okay. Yeah. Fair enough. Let me see. One of the questions I always ask too is about programming. And for you, I know as a creative, programming will be very important. But what kind of programs do you remember being involved in as a youth coming up in the Capital District area? Was there anything that stood out to you that made a difference to you in terms of programming? And are those programs still around right now that you know of?
I always been one of those ones that just been in my own world.
Okay.
Programming just didn't really, it just didn't, I didn't fit the program pretty much. I didn't want to go with the flow or anything. I always try to, do my own thing. So I never really stuck to any program that was out there. So it sounds bad, but
yeah.
Even when being involved with what I'm doing, there's some programs that I've gotten involved, as far as Ronald McDonald House, the National Cancer Foundation, those sort of things. But has there been any programs involved in growing up that I've been involved in?
Okay.
Not much.
You know what? That actually makes a lot of sense though, because you definitely kept to yourself a lot, man. You always did your own. You always did your own projects. You always stayed in your own lane. And like I said, man, you were definitely a word that I would use now as a creative. I didn't know that back then, but you're definitely a creative, because if you give you an idea, something that you can bring to life. And I know back then it was always your drawings that everybody was drawn to. It's like, wow, man, you did that. It's like, yeah, you know what I mean? So, okay. But that makes sense though.
Yeah, I always loved it because, it's just like a sense of being able to, to feel really free. Like you could fly, you could do anything. Because if you could look at a blank sheet of paper and see something cool on there that doesn't exist, and you bring it to life, it's like, it feels like a superpower to a degree,
Nice.
Nice. And so working with the designs, I'm bringing stuff to life again. I'm turning 2D drawings into 3D drawings and turning that into metal and making people happy. And it's just all around, form of happiness. That's why I feel like I already made it to a degree, but I know I got a lot of work to do.
Nice. I like it though. I'm over here thinking of it. I'm like, man, I kind of remember, I think it might have been Warren Street. I think you guys was living on Warren Street at one point in time, but you were doing a lot of drawings with Bart Simpson and all types of things over there, man. But yeah,
like 11 or something like that. Drawing people faces, I used to be in school. People want me to draw stuff for them. So yeah, I definitely had a thing for the pencil.
Okay. Yeah, and I'm asking those questions too, though, because one of the premises behind what I'm doing is always trying to highlight positivity, right? I think that there's so many dynamic people in the city of Albany and the Capital District area as well that we don't really get a chance to appreciate And most times we don't appreciate a person until they're gone or they're in a t-shirt or something like that. But there's so many different pockets of people that have been doing creative works, creative projects for quite some time. And we want to showcase, especially to the youth and to the adults, that, there's several different paths. There's several different paths to success. Everyone's not going to go the same exact path, but as long as we all meet up at the end result, which is success, you know what I mean? So just figuring out and hearing people's stories like yours, how to navigate to get to where you are today is important. So I always like to figure out, what made you, or how did you become the Rashad Dickson that you are today? When you were coming up, did you have mentors that would actually help you out along the way in regards to helping you with your creative flow, or was it something that you naturally just came to you?
It was a natural thing, and I like I said, when I came across the fork in the road, where I'm like, what do I do? How do I bring this thing to life? Guy Michael Hogan, who's a great mentor of mine. He actually is a diamond dealer, stone guy. He also designs watches. That was like one of my mentors. I work close with him, got a lot of good information, a lot of good insights from him. A few pointers, on top of what I already knew. It's just, reassure my confidence.
Nice.
Like I said, I made a lot of pieces. I had a lot of failed attempts to the point where you get discouraged almost. But it's like, I really want to do this thing. I love what I'm doing. This is awesome. I'm here. Let's just keep going. And before you know it, I made over 1,000 pieces, maybe.
Nice.
So it's just a matter of that. Just keep going. But yeah, I definitely have a good mentor, and I had some close people in my corner that believe in me as well. And that helped bring stuff to the table also. So yeah, I work with some good people.
Okay, yeah, and I think it's important. I think one, obviously, we all need we all need assistance in regards to navigating this path called life, right? So, me, I ran a mentoring program for 9 years there. Mentoring is near and dear to my heart. So, but a lot of people overlook what you can get from mentoring, man. You can get a lot of firsthand skills, knowledge that'll set you apart from everybody else just by allowing yourself to be mentored by somebody else who's already walked that path. And I think a lot of times we overlook mentorship, and we overlook what you can get from doing like unpaid internships and stuff like that. But I always highlight it because I know how instrumental they were for me. I got mentored by several people. I did unpaid internships as well as paid internships. But to get those skills is really what's going to set you apart when you're ready to do your own thing, or when you're ready to go into the real world, because you got that firsthand experience.
Most definitely.
Yeah. And let me see. This question here. I know I'm asking you a lot about Albany, because that's definitely part of what I'm here. Okay, there you go. I always tell everybody, and actually my last interview I had Mayor Sheehan on, and she helped me to change my perspective on this next question, because I thought that statistically 2018 and 2021 were the most violent years that I've ever seen in Albany in terms of gun violence. That's going to lead me to my next question. But she helped me to change that. But I'll say it afterwards. But here's my question: in the Capital District area, Shadi, how have you been impacted by gun violence, or not?
It just encourages me to just keep doing my thing, to stay away from all the madness. It's sad, but it's not really. I don't know. I don't be around a lot. I'm like that. I'm always in my own world. I'm always doing my own thing. And now that I have a family as well, I don't have time to be out randomly, even though things can happen randomly. But and growing up, that was another thing as well. Friends are dying at a young age, and we were surrounded by a lot of the wrong influences. So most of us didn't really see living past 27. I remember when you went your path, it was like you were the first one. It was like inspirational. It's like, hold on, wait, if he could do something like that, Like, and that, like, because we always used to look at certain things like it's not cool or it's nerdy and like weird, something like that. Like, even with the internet, like, I'm not on the internet like that because, that's just, it wasn't in, part of my makeup pretty much. Like, we was in the streets, like, we wasn't on the internet. It's like, so then, I see a lot of things happen on the internet that are useful tools and like, people flourishing off of those useful tools and like, me being involved, what I'm doing, it's like I need the internet to a degree. So, I need to learn this thing. I need to get on. I need to drop that attitude and smarten up. So yeah, man, just that sort of thing. I'm half the question. I forget what the question was.
No. The question was, have you been impacted by gun violence? Because, like I said, statistically, it has been really rough years. But what the mayor did let me know when I interviewed her, she says you're right and you're wrong. But she said that violence overall has decreased in the city of Albany, right? But she said gun violence had spiked. So, what I mean? And gun violence is pretty much, it's a national pandemic and what we're all facing and seeing. And I hate it because, we end up losing too many lives too early.
And that's what I was saying too. Because, Albany is so small, so everybody knows each other. So the way that I've been, affected by the gun violence is like, love lost. Like, I just had like 2 cousins that just got like, killed. Stuff like that. Like, so yeah, there's a negative effect in there. It rubs you the wrong way. Like I said, again, it just inspires you to it just keeps me out of the way. Just, you to just stay focused up. I'm not just out there randomly just doing stuff just to be out there. And it's normally how the stuff happens around here. So I just be out there.
That's good.
All the way out the way.
Okay. Yeah, stay out the way. My philosophy is stay low key and sucker free.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Yeah, but sorry to hear about the passing of your 2 family members. But I think your attitude is absolutely spot on. I think the more that we stay far away from the negativity, doesn't mean that we're going to be able to totally evade it all. But, like you said, you got a family now. Your family took precedent. And I think that's the same for most men. I think once we have something to be responsible for, we change as people.
Yeah, definitely.
We're different. We ain't got nothing to be responsible for.
Go out to any clubs at all. I don't. I'll focus on craft and the growth of my children. That's pretty much it. Nice. They all just like Gotham City, man. Another thing. It just inspires you to get out and see the world. Like like most people, I don't know, they've been here forever, and I've been here forever. And I've moved around a little bit, but like my brother, he got out of here. That's my next step is to get out of here as well. See what else the world has to offer.
Okay. Yeah, man. Yep. Actually, I texted him the other day for New Year's. Shout out to my man Player P, as I like to call him.
Yeah, I got it.
Let me see, man. I know pretty much you were saying for you to stay successful, for you to stay on your path, you pretty much have always tried to stay away from what everybody else was doing. You went your own lane. But if there was a piece of wisdom that you would be able to impart on somebody else to help them to navigate their way of staying out of danger or staying out of the wrong paths, what is something that you would prevent, or what is something that you would say to a young person to help them to prevent some of the mistakes that maybe you have run up across or you've seen through other people?
Pretty much I just give them the believe in yourself, journey inward speech. Like, ask yourself, what exactly do you want? Because most people don't ask themselves that. They don't know exactly what they want. They just dealing with whatever comes to them. Like, that's why I always been in my own world, because I know what I want. Like, I know how it looks. I know how it smells. I know, I pretty much know how to get there. And once you figure that out, and that's another reason why I love what I'm doing so much, because I figured out what it is. Like, the hardest part is figuring out the plan. Like, even when you have a plan, it's like, all right, the details that go into it. Like, I'm super detailed to have everything spot on. I've written business plans over and over. I have so many products. So it's like, I love where this is taking me. This is like
Nice.
I had like an outer body experience during this thing. You know, I don't remember, you know, writing all the shipping policies to the website, the care instructions or business plans and doing like, I did so much, like, you know, it's like, oh, hold on, like that's already done. Yeah, I did that. Like, you know, and that's just, you know, having my mind made up and, you know, knowing exactly what I want, you know, where do I want to go with this thing pretty much. And like I said, a lot of people, you know, growing up, we all got the same influences. We all want to rap. We all want to play ball. Like, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, so
It's a thing called reality. Reality sets in,
exactly.
and it's like, you know, hey, you know, if something hasn't popped off by now, you know,
Exactly.
I gotta try something else.
You know, I've been dealing with that rapping thing for like, you know, 8 years. You know, doctors go to school for 8 years and I haven't, you know, it was just difficult for me to monetize, difficult for me to wrap my brain around the business side of music. You know, I got caught up in the artistry side where I'm in the booth making the perfect song, but you know, product design and manufacturing is, you know, a lot more easier to me. It seems a lot more feasible and realistic. And like I said, it's something I could teach to my children, something that's positive. We working with the chakras of the human body, so there's holistic therapy involved.
Yeah.
You know, it's a lot that comes into play when you study and know that sort of thing. Anyway, so it's a lot of education, a lot of room for growth, and same time, you know, doing what I'm doing, it's a lot of room for opportunity also. Because you know, we're at the bottom, we're working our way up right now. Like I said, we're building value with a brand. Can you hear me good? Am I coming in?
Yeah, I can hear you just fine. Yep.
Yeah, so you know, we're building value with a brand, and like you know, I can't do everything myself, but I am doing anything that I need to do, like you know, websites, sales, melting the metal, polishing the stones, shipping it out, whatever. It don't matter. I don't care. Like you know, I don't exist. I'm that company. So whatever need to be done is going to be done. But you know, we do need to expand as well. You know, we're going to grow. So there's room for opportunity, venture capitalism, all types of stuff. So it's a lot that I'm learning that, like, you know, I didn't know about before, like stocks and everything, like, you know, and this thing is pulling me in that direction, like, you know, so it's awesome. It's awesome.
Nice. And I'm glad that you just touched on that too. Just speaking about stocks and stuff, I think financial literacy, most of us didn't know, or most of us didn't get skills on how to be financially solvent, or you know, understand how to pay bills on time, how to save money, how to invest, you know what I mean, how to make more money. So those are a lot of things that we end up learning through trial and error. You know, because we end up, some of us start with no credit at all because our parents end up using our names and stuff like that for bills. And by the time we get adults, we find out, hell, I got a National Grid bill in my name or some shit like that.
Yeah.
But, you know, but once we do get credit, and then if you don't know how to utilize it, right, you'll end up in the same type of situation. You know, so financial literacy is something that's huge right now. Everyone is talking about financial literacy, and those are the types of tools that are really going to change us. So once you have that mindset that you said that you have now, like you have the vision, you know what you're doing, you know where you're at, you can smell it, you can feel it, right? So now match that with the financial literacy piece, and it's just like, okay, you know, what do I need to align myself with to go ahead and continue to take ECO Jewelers to the next level, you know what I mean? And those are the opportunities that most of us don't get a chance to be creative enough to do, because we're so busy on the defense every day trying to take care of responsibilities, take care of bills, and we end up losing our creative sense. So, you know, but yeah, I love that about you, man. You've always been a creative. So
yeah, bro. I dealt with like, you know, manufacturers, distributors. You know, I have a patent for a product. You know, just dealing with like I'm learning, you know, how that whole mechanism turns, like, you know, and like I said, even mass production, like, you know, how to go about doing that, and you know, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. Like, you know how many brands of granola bars there are, like, you know what I mean? So just finding something that you love to do and just, you know, doing it, you know, it's pretty cool. And like, you know, there's no fear there. Like I said, I had manufacturers want to manufacture my product for me to the point where I don't have to do anything, and that creates a stream of passive income, pretty much. You know, so it's a lot of different, you know, facets to this thing, but it's pretty cool. Every day it's a new eye opener. you know, a new opportunity, a new, you know, place to stretch and grow. So like I said, I just love doing it. I love being involved, and I'm along for the journey, you know.
Okay, you gotta tell me. You know, I used to be a big jewelry man, so you gotta tell me about those fronts right there that you got going on right there. I see you got the gloves. So I know you must not be too far from doing the actual work. And then you got those fronts in there, man. Tell me about those fronts that you got right there. I'm assuming that's a product that you designed right there.
Yeah, nah, I make the fronts. I do everything. This is just a simple, you know, bottom set. Um, Basically, it's just a simple 6 set right here. 6 teeth. Get 4, 6, 8 teeth. You know, whatever. Do specific cuts, permanent cuts, individual caps, different designs, and everything like that. This is just something I wear day to day. You know, I kind of feel like I got big teeth, so I just wear the bottoms. So, you know, but yeah, we make everything. I do all the molding, you know, whipping up the dye stone for it. I do the wax work. Like I said, I'm educating people as well. Like, you know, so it's a little philanthropy going on.
Nice. I love it though. I love it, man. I remember my first set of fronts. I want to say I might have been in 7th grade. You know, I couldn't afford the whole bridge, so I ended up buying all of the caps. I ended up buying the caps right here. But once I got my first bridge, I had the fangs and all of that joint. I might have been in like 9th or 10th grade or something like that, man. So
I did the fangs at the top. I did the fangs and the trim, but when I pop them on, like, damn, my teeth is heavy. Like, nah, just rock the bottoms, bro.
Okay. That's
I'm working on some earrings, some studs. I got some revolutionary designs, some like, you know, 3D polygon necklaces and earrings that's coming out in the summertime. I got some pretty cool stuff in production as we speak. You know, I'm making products every day. I'm adding new products to the website every day, and you know, that's EcoJewelersInc.com. And we also got payment plans available as well. We accept Klarna, Afterpay, and Affirm on it. So, you know, anybody, you know, that wants to space it out, they got that opportunity to do so on there.
Nice. And I'm glad you just said that too, because sometimes I'm guilty and I forget it. So I hit the people with it one more time. Where could they find you at on your website or on social media?
www.ecojewelersinc.com. That's EcoJewelersinc. I'm just a button away. It's a live chat button on there. And, you know, 98% of the time, I'm going to be the guy to answer. You know, and there's links down there to all of our social media links as well. You can like, share, and subscribe. You know, we got new products on the way, new contests, giveaways, you know, free product, things like that. So definitely like, share, and subscribe, and like, you know, be a part of the journey. You know, help us grow, get to the top. Like, you know, it's gonna look good on all of us.
Nice. I got a question for you. Do you find setting goals stressful or motivating for you?
Motivating, because I get to see it. Like, I like to write stuff down. Like I said, I'm an artist. So like, you know, I draw it all out. And then the goal is to make this thing real. Like, you know, so I do a lot of that, and it motivates me. Like, you know.
Okay. What about success? If you were to define success, Rashad, how would you define success? Because everyone has their own definition of success. How would you define success?
Well, being financially free, being, you know, not tied down to, you know, any obligation, like, you know, that you're not doing something that you don't want to do, like whether it's working a certain type of job or like, you know, and you're just going there every day and just dealing with it. Like, you know, like right now I'm doing what I love. So, you know, I already feel, you know, I reached a level of success. You know, that first pinnacle of success. But, you know, next comes, you know, that big financial bump. And, you know, like I said, I'm so happy, you know, that I'm doing what I'm doing right now. I'm comfortable. I'm not stressing that financial bump is going to come. So even if it doesn't, I found a way to do something that I love. And like, you know, the reward from, you know, the customer, that's where the reward comes from, seeing the look on a customer's face when they get something that, like, you know, you help them bring to life. pretty much. Like, and it's like, oh, I love it. And it's just so rewarding, like, you know, and like I said, it just goes hand in hand with my art, you know. And
Nice.
any artist will feel that way when somebody loves what you put your time and energy, and blood and sweat and tears to. Like, you know, I cut myself on a lot of these pieces. Like, you know, I sat stressful nights, like, you know what I mean? My beard all growing out, my hair all over the place, like, you know what I mean? So, but, you know, I got it done. And
Nice.
just, you know, seeing a finished product is like, wow, okay. You know, I mean, you step back and just keep looking at it. It's just like watching your kids grow, you know?
Nice. Nice. It's too funny. You say, yeah, I cut myself on this piece. It's like every time I see you, when you have your engagement ring on, it's like, I remember I cut myself when I was making that piece for you.
Fact. And that's another thing with doing what I'm doing. This, it might look or sound easy, but, you know, you gotta be very careful. Some stuff, you know, kill you. Like, you know, like when you're mixing up the investment, like, you know, plaster has silica in it. Like, you know, you breathe it in, like, you know what I mean? You know, like, you know, working with, you know, high bench polishers and buffers and little rotary tools, stuff that gets spinned up and, you know, you cutting. Yeah, I remember I was cutting, like, you know, a piece of metal off and just went right through the metal. Like, so you just gotta be careful and, like, you know, pay attention, because, you know, it can be fatal. You know, it's pretty risky, even melting the metal. You know, I'm doing everything in the crib. So, like, you know what I mean? So I gotta be super careful. Like, you know, right now, we got some land across the water from here, you know, that has a house and 3 barns on it. 2 of the barns got destroyed due to, you know, the time and the weather and everything. So we're knocking all 3 of them down and just, you know, building a warehouse up there. And I'm gonna start manufacturing out there pretty soon. And, you know, we're also gonna have an apple orchard going out there as well. We've been planting apple trees. We got a few acres, you know, for that lined up. You know, we're busy. We're definitely busy. We got some good visions, some goals in place. You know, we're definitely doing something.
Okay. I am what do I say, man? I'm a learner. There's a word, introspective, an examination of one's own feelings and thoughts. I learned that in high school, my senior year after I got kicked out of high school, actually. But it's changed my life for forever. It's going to lead me to my next question. But as you have evolved as a man, Rashad, do you give yourself permission and space to change? How does that look like for you?
Well, like I said, that brings me back to being an artist. You know, every day is changes, is growth, is, you know, me critiquing myself and trying to make things better. So yeah, definitely a lot of room for change. And, you know, being a father, you know, also I have to be adaptable. So, you know, I never did this before, nor did I have a father growing up as well. So, you know, I didn't have that part installed in me. You know, my mom did a great job, but, you know, being a father is a little different. So, you know, some days, you know, I have my frustrations, like, you know, I try not to get so frustrated with my children. So, you know, that leads me to practice, you know, being calm and pulling back more, you know, even how to be more emotional. I got a daughter on the way. I've never really been an emotional person at all. You know, a wife, she said, "Oh, you're not emotional. You don't understand." But what do you want me to do?
Yeah.
You know, I'm learning, like, you know, how to, you know, calm down, like, you know, listen to the children, like, you know, listen to, you know, what they're actually saying, even they can't talk yet. So yeah, definitely there's room for growth. Absolutely.
I love that, man. One, you know what I mean, trying to navigate a space where we learn how to be men, right? Most of us grew up or were raised by women. You know what I mean? I know your mother, man. Shout out to her. You know, I spent a lot of time with y'all. You know what I mean? My mom did the same thing, man. But once yeah, man. You know what I mean? Learning how to be vulnerable enough to admit faults, right? Learning how to be vulnerable enough to care, to hold somebody, you know what I mean? To kiss, you know what I mean? To raise our kids. It's a new dynamic for our generation, because a lot of us grew up without our fathers. So it's like, you know, how do we create the imagery of something that we didn't see on a regular basis, right? So a lot of us are going to make a lot of mistakes along the way on the path of trying to be a great dad. So I really appreciated your answer just now, because vulnerability is a huge part for each and every one of us to embrace and to get through as we evolve as people. So as we give ourselves permission to make mistakes and to grow. So I like that. I like that.
No doubt.
Let me see. I got a couple more questions for you, and I'm gonna let you go.
Man, I'm here, man. Don't push me off this again. Fun. It's like I gotta get used to this type of swag, you know.
Well, let me see. Well, actually, I'm gonna stay right there because I think that it's a really important topic, right? I know you're getting ready to embrace the birth of your first baby girl, but yeah, you know, how do you envision raising your daughter? 'Cause I know you said, you know, you're gonna start to embrace all your emotions right now because you got a girl coming on, but you know, I think our young men, our boys need it too, right?
Yeah.
And it's, you know, so it's, my wife tells me all the time, he's like, yo, I'm super emotional, you know what I mean? I'm the Will Smith over here in my household. He's like, yo, Tyrell is super emotional. I'm super emotional because I care though, and that was one of the things I learned from my mom. So I try to showcase that with my kids too. Say it's okay to make mistakes. You know what I mean? It was like we all make mistakes. I tell my kids all the time. Every time they do something wrong, and I know that he over here frustrated, I'd be like, don't feel bad, man. Daddy makes mistakes every day. I make mistakes at work every day.
I encourage them, you know.
Yeah.
I always want a good one with that. Like, you know, I got a lot of positive energy in me. So, like I said, I study the chakras of the human body as well. So that helps me, you know, with my patience, meditation, you know, getting in tune with my inner self, you know, my blood flow, all my vibrations and everything. And like, you know, passing that on to them. So, you know, we're all cool in here.
Okay. You over here making me think of Fatisha Thompson. Shout out to Fifi down there in Charlotte. I interviewed her a while ago too, but she's heavy on the vibrations. She said, you know, I'm looking for the vibrations. I'm looking for the vibrations, the affirmations.
The first bridal show that I did, you know, I had little to no prototypes. Like, you know, I had a lot of, you know, energy stones, like, you know, chakra energy stones, and like people that are familiar with the minerals that they are, not stones or minerals, like, you know, so people just coming over to the table like, oh, the energy is just crazy over here. Like I said, at that point in time, I was heavily studying that stuff, and I took some courses on holistic healing, and I just it's my energy was crazy at that point. I'm like Gandhi almost.
He said, I love this stuff, man. Give me more.
Yeah, man.
Let me see, man. How do you find a healthy work-life balance for you, Rashad? You know what I mean? You're an entrepreneur, you're a creative, you're soon to be a dad of 3, you know what I mean? You have your spouse. How do you find a healthy work-life balance for you?
Just, you know, doing what I love. Like, you know, I had jobs, like, you know, where I wasn't doing what I loved. And like, you know, that shit stressed me out. So, you know, I had to jump off the porch and like, you know, really trust the process. And that's pretty much what I'm doing. You know, so far, so good. I've been doing it since 2013 legally. I've been messing with jewelry since I was like, 12. Like, you know what I mean? Like gluing rhinestones on watches, taking apart my mother's jewelry. And like, so I've been, you know, hands-on with that for a while. But, you know, really, you know, got serious in 2013 with it. So, you know, I had this, you know, vision for a long time. And like, you know, right now it's just, you know, more serious than ever. And like I said, I love it. So me doing what I love, it helps me to find that balance pretty much. Like, you know, so, and plus, like, you know, I don't have to, you know, clock in at a certain time, like, you know, when I want to, like, here, like, you know, I know the rate that I work in, like, you know, how fast and efficient I can be. So not like I wait to the last minute with stuff, but, you know, I control my own schedule. Like, you know, I set my own days off, and like, you know, I do my own thing, and it's comfortable. You know, I spend more time with my children. Before I was working overnights, like, you know, so I'm working overnights, the wife working during the day. I got the kids during the day, and like, you know, I'm like a zombie. I wasn't happy, like, you know, but now I'm doing what I love. I can make, more than what a job pays me in a week and a day, that type of stuff. So, it's pretty awesome. Like, I just want this thing to keep growing and continue to bring me the pleasure and the happiness, and bless my family with this thing as well.
Okay. I'm sitting there thinking of an affirmation that Fatisha did on the show a couple months ago. She probably gonna kill me if she hears this, but one of the things she tells herself in affirmations, she says, "That which is mine is coming to me now." Right? Yeah. So, anywho, I hear you speaking it into
I
existence.
felt that vibration just now. You put it out there, it's gonna come back, and the words have power. Like, what you say and what you do, is congruent. It's gonna happen. Like, and you can walk from here to California if you wanted to. Like, do anything you set your mind to. It's like, just figure it out. Is that what you really want to do? Like, there's 84,600 seconds in a day. Like, if you use every one of those seconds geared towards what you want to do, like, it's bound to come out in your favor. Like, rather than spending hours or something that you don't want to do to the point where you're done with that, you're tired, you're no good to your dream, pretty much. Like, some people don't even allow themselves room to dream. Like, I've always been a dreamer, like, so.
Okay. And let me see, man, I'm actually going to bring you, this is probably it's my second favorite question now, though. From season 1 was my favorite question. I'm on season 2 now, but I like this question because it tells me more about you. So what's your favorite place to visit in Albany and why?
I like to go to the Empire State Plaza, the top of the skyscraper. The viewing thing up there.
Yep.
Just so I can just be on top of the city and look over everything. Like, honestly, like, if you're looking for me and I ain't nowhere around, I might be up there. Honestly, just right on the edge, just looking out the window. It's just relaxing to me. Honestly.
Nice. Yeah, a lot of people chose the plaza for that. None of them chose your specific location of the plaza, though. But yeah, that's dope. That's dope.
Yeah, I'm up there. I'm definitely up there. Just the view, like, I like to, not like I like to look down, but just the view, like, be like being able to fly. Like, I was always a big Peter Pan fan growing up. Like, the whole metaphor behind that, like, and I'm not gonna, dive in deep with it. There's metaphors, and I like to listen to stories and pick them apart, get the inspiration from.
Nice, man. You know what I'm sitting there thinking of right there at the observation deck. It was always beautiful. Look over. You know what I mean? And Albany is really beautiful, honestly, man. It's like, especially I love looking at it. Depending on what angle you're looking at it from, whether you're in Rensselaer or whether you're in downtown Albany. You know what I mean? When you see the joint lit up, the whole plaza area is just like, you know what I mean? Yeah,
it could be so much better, this is home. It's where we come from. So, we make the best of it. So many ways, so much room for improvement up here, though. Like, places to eat, places to shop, the whole downtown main attractive area could be redone. But yeah.
Okay. No, I actually agree with you on every front. And there's so many different people that are trying. And I think that, we're all trying individually. And I think that we're really going to start to see a lot of steam when it's more of a collective effort. You know what I mean? You got a lot of people that are working together too, but everyone's doing their own different things. And the Albany that we grew up in looks drastically different than the Albany that we see right now. But the creative people, the professional people, there's a lot of still creative and professional people there trying to bring it back to life. And that's one of the things I love about this project. Dialing into people's stories like yourself, dialing into everybody's stories to find out, that nostalgic feeling that we have for the city, and in hopes of bringing that back. So, I can't wait, because I love Albany. No matter where I'm at in the world, Charlotte, Chicago, DC. Home, so it's home. Yeah.
Automatic love there. Like, I want to go other places, do other things, but, this is home.
Okay. All right. My last question for you, man. I'm gonna let you go. Rashad Dickson, what about your life's path are you most proud of? If you had to choose one thing, what about your life's path are you most proud of?
First and foremost, my children.
Okay.
Other than that, what I'm doing today, just, pursuing something that I love and, making a dream come true. That's what I'm most proud of, all the work that I've done up to this point. I did a lot of work. Like I said, I don't even really remember doing all the work. I just had a outer body experience and got it all done. But, even when I was working, as I'm working on my business. I had, supervisor positions. So I'm over there just writing business plans the whole day, So, and all the plans is to be doing what I'm doing now, and just writing down that checklist and crossing everything off. That turns me on. Got that, cross that off. So, what I'm doing up until this point, I'm extremely proud of, and I'm very thankful, to have the opportunity to do what I'm doing, to even have the vision to see all of this stuff. So, I'm extremely grateful. I feel blessed. I love life, man. Like I said, I'm just going with the flow. But I did put my efforts into it, not just accepting whatever comes my way, knowing what I want and going for it.
I love that. I think it's strong. I think that it puts a lot of emphasis on what it is that you want to create, what you want to bring to life. A lot of people wait for something to land in their lap and don't put forth the fruit, or the efforts to get the fruit later. So I like what you just said. Part of the responsibility is on us. Putting in that labor, talking about what it is that we want and bring it into full fruition. And the other part is just letting the universe do what it does. Connect whoever needs to be connected at the appropriate times, bring things and manifest to life when it's supposed to. So I really like that statement, man. But
a lazy approach towards it, because you won't get anything done. A lot of people they'll start a project and won't finish it because they get exhausted or they see the amount of work that it really takes, and then they end up staying at those jobs and not But if you work just as hard as you did at that job and on that craft, and just stick with it and trust the process, you're gonna get somewhere.
Okay. Well, listen, the Back community, there you have it. You hear from Rashad Dickson himself, Mr. Senior Designer of ECO Jewelers Incorporated. Shadi, like I said, man, I've known you pretty much your entire life, bro. I'm absolutely proud of you. Continue to be a whole vibe just by itself. Shout outs to you and the family on your impending a new birth that's be coming into the world, man. I wish you continue success as a parent, as a father, as an entrepreneur. Thank you for allowing me to dive into your story tonight, bro.
Vice versa, bro. I appreciate you having me.
Oh, anytime, man. Until next time, brother, man, stay low key and sucker free. You know how I like to call it, man. I'll play catch up with you later.
For sure.
Big.
Bless.
Keep climbing up the ladder. Black lives matter. They matter. So all you young people, give it all. 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 Matter. Black lives matter. They matter. Black lives matter.